Hey guys, it's me, Nikki, and thank you guys so much for watching TOYtally Awesome. I am now making my own toys. This time I'm using cold porcelain. So I want to make a replica of the Heart of Te Fiti, which is from the Disney movie Moana. So to start, I'm taking this chunk of green cold porcelain and it's colored with acrylic paint. I use a tinge of white paint to make sure that it doesn't dry translucent, which usually happens with cold porcelain. And then it has a green color also, which is the actual color of the Heart of Te Fiti. So I started with a ball and now I'm just shaping it into an oval shaped looking stone. I'm trying to make sure that I get it as smooth and slightly curved on top. I do want to make sure that I shape it about 20% larger than I want it to be because unlike polymer clay, cold porcelain shrinks. Like it shrinks by like 20%. So you do want to make it a little larger. So I'm going to start piercing the clay in a wave pattern, taking care not to snag on anything. Once in a while, I'm going to go through this with a brush to remove the flaked off cold porcelain that might dry. It tends to form a crust on top, obviously, because it's an air dry clay, and also because I'm going really slow with pricking the clay. So this design is kind of a yin-yang of waves, and then it has tribal patterns on the sides. Oh, one thing I also wanted to remind everyone is that when you color your cold porcelain, you should make sure that you're doing it 2 to 3 shades lighter than how you want it to look because it does dry a little bit darker and then the color is a lot more dull. So if you want to have like that sheen, you need to gloss it after it's done drying. Cold porcelain is really great. I prefer it over polymer clay. It's this super soft, marshmallowy type of clay, and after drying, it isn't affected by humidity. I live in the Philippines, so it's really humid, tropical country. Like if I left this and it were affected by humidity, like let's say I were using gum paste, for example, it would basically turn into like a mushy lump at the end of the day because of how humid it gets here. I like that it's super soft in texture, so the disadvantage of that with this type of design, since it is kind of a carving, it usually creates a kind of drag into it. So that's why I pierce the dough or the clay little by little, and then I do like the whole connect the dots to make it smoother. So here I'm just finishing off like the other part of the yin-yang of the wave, and then this is like a double lined type of design, so I'm going to have to go back and create like a thin border around this about this size. So you'll see that later. But I just want to finish off like the basic outline to like the yin-yang type of design. And now I'll start drawing some lines inside the wave. See, I've watched people do like cold porcelain and they like rub like a lot of lotion or oil on whatever it is they're doing to prevent it from drying. And at this point I pretty much regretted not doing that because I can clearly see that like my Heart of Te Fiti was forming a crust of some sort. And every time I would pull my dotting tool, I could see the crust forming flakes all over my artwork, and you know, just a note to myself that next time I need to rub some oil or lotion to keep the marshmallow texture type of smoothness while working with it. But then again, I'm pretty sure the Heart of Te Fiti was a handmade type of stone that they like cursed or blessed or whatnot to like make it glow and stuff. But it was handmade, so I'm pretty sure this is fine. So making kind of like an accent design, and this is what I was talking about, like creating a border. Like it's two of like the arrow shape type of like shape. In general, I do think that this cold porcelain recipe is a really good recipe, and if you want a copy of my recipe, just mention that in the comments down below. Or if, you know, even better, if you want to see a how-to video on how I make my cold porcelain, just leave that in the comment section and I will get to work. Here we're doing a diamond type pattern, and I'll start doing the connect the dots, or like smoothing out like the lines for now. So now I'm going to start with the border thing that I was talking about, which is around the wave pattern, and I'm using the thinnest dotting tool that I have, and I need to get this as close to the edge as I can get without ruining the definition of the design. So I just have to be really careful. So pierce, 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 pierce. The curves are the most challenging part, and like this inner part is like, I'm so afraid of how it'll just like mush into the rest of the design. So once I get past like the tiny curve, then it's, you know, it's not so bad. I'm a little more worried about how it's going to turn out when I use the larger dotting tool to smooth out the edges, but hopefully it'll define it more and create like a border. So we'll see. On the opposite side of the wave, I'm going to make another like accent sign, or like to continue the tribal design to tie in the rest of the look. And then all that's left to do is, you know, smooth out the edges. This is, you know, like I could see the cracking on the top. I really should have put some lotion just to prevent it from crusting on the top. But yeah, next time I'll know, and whatever I sell on my Etsy shop, I will make sure I keep that in mind. So I will just continue doing this and clean it up a little and define my edges, and then I'll leave it to dry. So after dusting off all of the flakes, here we have the Heart of Te Fiti that is all done. There you go. And after it's dry, all you have to do is glaze, and you're done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. You guys would be doing me such a huge favor. I will post the link also on my Etsy shop so you guys can check out what I have in store for everyone. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Ciao!